Good morning. Oh my gosh, I had a wild night of dreaming. I've been dreaming every night, but not journaling every morning. But I couldn't not journal this because, whoa, whoa. A couple nights ago, the night before, I had this set of dreams. I had a lot of family drama, like a whole lot of family drama. And then the next morning, I had a dream that I was attacked by a rat with a human head. And then the dream after that was partially lucid. And there was this big black rat, and I actually killed it. And I was very calm, and it was it was it was great. It was a great dream. And then the next morning, I found out the particular family member that I was having the conflict with is Year of the Rat. And then I also didn't realize that 2020 is Year of the Rat. And rats also in dreams symbolize uh, conflict, specifically conflict with someone close to you. It can represent backstabbing, it can represent the loss of money, filth, and disease. So it was pretty accurate. That was interesting. But this morning's dreams, whoa! I think they started somewhere around 4 a.m., give or take. And that's because I actually woke up and started texting my lover because the dreams really were disturbing. Not at first. So when I went to bed, I thought, oh, whoa, I'm going to have dreams about me having wings coming from my back. That's really cool. And then I also thought, I thought I've never had a dream like that. So that's really great. And I would definitely like to have a dream like that. And then I thought, well, thinking of dreams that I've never had before, I've never had a dream where I was an animal. I've had dreams where I was like animal like, or maybe partially an animal, but not just full on an animal. And I thought how cool it would be to have a dream where I was an animal. And then I fell asleep, and the next thing I knew, I was at my childhood home. It was nighttime, and I was looking out the back door, and then all of a sudden, instead of inside the house looking out the back door, I was rising higher and higher and higher into the air outside and swooping around. And I realized that I was this big, giant owl. And I was swooping around, and then I came to land. There was this giant dissected horse. So it was the horse and all of its insides. It was definitely very gruesome, but not in a terrifying way. It just like it just was what it was in the dream. No judgments. It was just neither good nor bad. It was very neutral. It just was. And that was amazing to feel that and should be an animal. And then the next dream, I was in a forest, and in the middle of the forest, there was this perfect row of pine trees. And in between each pine tree, there was a very tall bushel tree thing of kale growing. Don't know what that means. I'm going to have to think about that for a while. But that was very interesting because it seemed very special. That dream had very rich colors, and it was in like hyper definition. And I was either observing or I was a raccoon, and I wasn't eating the kale. I was just kind of like, I felt like I was the guardian of this little space. And sun was shining down in these beautiful rays on the kale, and it's very beautiful and very scenic. Um, and then the dream after that, it started off with the first thing I was just hearing this grandmother's voice, and it was this Native American woman, and she was telling these children about the bear people, and she was telling them about the prophecy of um, like a big thing happening. Like, I don't want to say the world ending, or I don't know what words to use. Um, she used certain words, and I don't remember them, but she was talking about the bear people's prophecy, and she was talking about pony beads, and she was saying that glass, something about glass beads, and they used to etch bears and elk onto these beads, and they would pass these secret prophecies to certain people. And it was very fascinating, the stories that she was telling. I wish I could remember most, like the rest of them. um, and then af- after that dream, I had a dream that my lover was leaving the house, and it was dark, it was night, it was rainy, and I was talking to them, and then they were like, I gotta go. And I was like, okay, we kissed again, like, give me another one last kiss. And they stuck their head through the door and kissed me, and then they're like, I gotta go. And then they left, and I was like, I can't remember where they were going or why they had to leave. And it was bothering me. And then I went and took a shower, and I forgot more and more why they had to go, and I was getting more and more uneasy about them being gone because I couldn't remember the details, and I was very disoriented feeling. And um, then I heard them return, and I was like, oh, yay, they're home. And they came into the bathroom where I was. I just gotten out of the shower. My hair was all wet, and I had taken a Wim Hof cold, like I'd taken a ice cold shower. And um, then they came and put their arms around me, and I could feel their cheek on my cheek, and I could feel them touch my wet hair, and I could feel them kiss me. And then I was like, I can't remember why you left, and it was really bothering me. And then the dream flashed and changed again, and I woke up in my bed here, in this bed, in this room, and I was like, oh, that was a dream. They're gone. And I like, whoa. And I tried to sit up, and I was wrapped really tightly in the blankets, like I had burritoed myself throughout the night sleeping. And I was like, oh, that's really uncomfortable. And I tried to sit up, and I'd fall back over, and I'd try to sit up, and I'd fall back over. And I had to fight myself getting panicked. I'm like, no, stay the fuck calm. And I was fighting, and I was getting frustrated, and I ended up falling off the bed. And then I thought, oh my gosh, what is happening? And then this is even crazier. I started hearing this Indian chant, and I'm too embarrassed to sing it because, yeah, I don't know. Um, but it was a very clear chant, and I can remember it very, very clearly. And I was just like, okay, that's definitely freaking me out. And then I thought, oh my gosh, I didn't wake up. I'm not awake right now. And that made me even more frustrated that I couldn't get out of my blanket. When I realized that I was dreaming, I thought, okay, that's going to be easy just to get out of my blanket. I'm dreaming. This is a dream. I'm in my bedroom, and everything is as it is. Oh, before I realized that I was dreaming, um, when I was trying to get out of my blanket and I heard the Indian chant, I had fallen asleep in real waking life to some yoga music, but it was no words. It was just kind of like, sounded like kind of like angelic voices and just very soft waves of ambient noise. It was very neutral music, and I had also left the door open a little bit, it's not the music I fell asleep to. And also, why is my door shut all the way? It is so dark in here. It was so, so dark. And the extra darkness was really adding to the disorientation. And I was trying to find my voice, and I couldn't talk because your voice is paralyzed when you're asleep. So my body in real waking life, I'm sure I was trying to yell in my sleep, and I was thrashing around, but I couldn't because my body was in paralysis. And so I was like, I'm gonna roar. I don't know why it occurred to me to roar, but I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna roar myself awake, and I'm going to use the power of the tiger and the lion, and I'm going to roar, and I'm going to use this anger to wake myself up. And I said something about the evil spirits chanting right now, and I'm going to roar and let them know that I am not afraid. I don't know, but it worked. So I roared. I was like, I couldn't really roar because my voice was paralyzed. But I was like, rah, rah. In my blanket burrito, rolling around on the floor, trying to get out of it. Rah! But I did eventually break free, sort of. I mean, I didn't break free, but I woke up again in my bed again, but real for reals this time. And I woke up laying in my bed on my back, not burrito blanketed, and with my normal music and with my door open. And I thought, okay. And I had no panic. I didn't have a tightness. And I recognized the music and the door being open. And then I immediately relaxed and realized, okay, I am indeed awake. Great. Oh, also in that dream, I forgot to mention that I was having nightmares that because of the quarantines and the coronavirus stuff, that my lover and I were going to get separated because they are thousands of miles away from me, and they're supposed to come home in like a month or so, and I was having nightmares that they weren't able to, like there was some kind of travel ban. So I was really stressed out about that, and then I ended up calling them on the phone, and we talked for over an hour, and then I went back to sleep after that. And this gets way crazy. So I go back to sleep, and I wake up in a library, and I wake up and I feel fully awake. I feel so like I feel in waking life awake. And I get up and I'm so confused. I'm like, where the fuck am I? Where am I? What? And I look outside, and there's no one around. I'm like, okay, no one's around because quarantine. But I'm like, I woke up in the school library. What is going on? And I stay there for a while, and then I realize, okay, I must be asleep and I must be in another dream. But this is wild. I am so lucid. I am so fully aware of everything. Um, I end up like feeling pretty randy. So, because I'm lucid, I just do the 3 F's of lucid dreaming, the 3 very basic F's, instead of going and reading a book or finding someone to ask the meaning of life. Lizard brain, fucking lizard brain. So I take care of that, and then I ended up going back to sleep, partially waking up. Then I wake up again in the dream. I think I'm waking up in like for reals again. I'm like, okay, I'm waking up for reals, and I'm actually woken up. Where the fuck am I again? What is this? I was in this beautiful, fancy Victorian bedroom, and I woke up and I got out of bed and I walked down the hallway, and it was this immaculate house. It was giant. There was mahogany everything, and there was chandeliers, and there was this giant white poodle, and then a medium-sized black poodle. And the giant one looked like he was a purebred, and the smaller black one was much cuter, and he was a mix of some sort. And they happily greeted me, and I pet them, and they felt really real. And I explored the house, and I went, "Hello, is anyone home?" And that was my first cue, because when I tried to talk, my voice was paralyzed, and I was like, "Oh, I'm in another lucid dream. This is fascinating." So then I was just looking around, and I was wondering, also before I went to sleep last night, I was wondering how long I could hold a lucid dream. How long could I just be aware that I'm dreaming? Could I just sit down, not control anything, and just observe? And that's what happened in this dream. I was just observing, and then I was looking around, and then eventually this older gray-haired woman comes in, and it's clearly like the early 1900s, and she's like, "Oh, hello," and we talk, and I'm very careful not to call her grandmother, even though I have the urge to call her grandmother, because it becomes clear that she is my caretaker, but I'm not sure if she's my older aunt or she is my grandma, and I didn't want to give it away that I didn't know what was going on. I just wanted to observe everything that was happening, and I was just awestruck the entire dream. And my grandmother, or whoever she was kind of like, "You're acting very strange." And I was like, "Oh, me, huh? What? No, not at all. Totally normal. Totally normal." And upon waking, I regret not informing her that I was dreaming, but I was holding lucidity so strongly and so well that I just wanted to stay there as long as I could, as long as my body could stay asleep, and just observe everything from a lucid viewpoint without doing the three F's, without also trying to read a book or trying to ask what the meaning of life was. I didn't want to mess with it at all. And then we went downstairs into this ground level room, and it was like this built-in greenhouse, with glass walls, and there was a piano, which doesn't make sense to have a piano in a greenhouse, but there was a table, like a beautiful polished dining room table, and there was this radio. I don't know when radios were invented, so I don't know if this was what year this was, but she turned it on, and there was some swing music, and it was very crackly, and I would like kind of, we giggled because we were dancing, and dancing was funny, I guess. And um, there was like thousands of succulent plants. This woman was obsessed. That she had They were succulent plants of all shapes and sizes. She particularly liked mini ones and mini arrangements, and there was all these cute little mini curio cabinets and statues and all of these things, and they were all arranged with different kinds of succulents. And she was spray watering them with this old fashioned, really cool steampunk looking water. And I just remember not being able to keep my mouth shut, because I was like, I'm still lucid. I'm still 100% lucid. And I talk about lucidity being on a spectrum all the time. And I just couldn't stop being amazed at how I was 100% fully lucid the entire time. And um, before, she gave me a cookie, and I tried to eat it, and it was just like ash in my mouth, but I had to pretend. I'm like, "Oh, weird. Usually in dreams I can taste things." I was so thirsty. My mouth was so dry, and I knew that in real waking life, my body was just sawing logs with my mouth open. So that's why my mouth felt dry in the dream. And the old woman offered me this saucer of water, And I drank it, and it was really weird to drink water with a dry mouth and with no water sensation and just nothing. It was like being a ghost or being a vampire and trying to intake some kind of food. And I was like, and I didn't finish it. She goes and she's like, finish your water. And I was like, oh God, I have to pretend to finish this water. Oh. And then I kept asking her, I was like, oh, I feel really like a longing for some socialness, some social time. But please invite the neighbors over. And she was like, oh, okay, I guess. And she sees the neighbors through the window and she kind of waves him over. And this dapper older gentleman comes in, and this woman who I'm not sure what her role is. I think she might be some kind of help. Like she wasn't the neighbor, she wasn't his girlfriend or his wife. Um, I'm not sure what she was, but they came and he kind of danced to the music as well. And then I could feel myself waking up, and I was like, oh no, I don't want to wake up. This is it. It was like the most lucid I've ever been. And then I woke up all the way, and I woke up in my bed. My damn cat woke me up, and that was it. That was one of the most fascinating dream experiences I ever had, because I spent quite a while walking around upstairs of that house, just looking at things, touching things, and taking it in, and thinking about how I was not in reality, but I was experiencing all of these things. I was touching the dog, I was smelling the dog, I was experiencing all of this stuff without being in this reality that I'm recording in right now, and just thinking a lot of deep thoughts and thinking about the human mind. And it was a fascinating experience. Dreams are really fascinating. Fucking whoa, dude. Whoa. Yeah. So, I don't know. That was my dreams. Um, yeah, as if anyone happens to see my personal diary of dreams, I'd love to hear about your dreams. So, yeah, I don't ever check my mailbox on YouTube because, like I said, this is just a journal, but I'll see your comments, and I would love to hear about your dreams. Um, I am also the Fizz Wizard, one word, the Fizz Wizard, on Etsy, and I sell tarot card bath bombs and bath bombs with crystals and mood rings in them. They're organic, and I use locally made lavender essential oil, and they're dye-free and soap-free. So if you want to check that out, it's etsy.com/thefizzwizard. And I will see you later.